in smallpox eradication at government expense are not calculated. If we calculate this, the tables will start looking quite different, and the narrative will start looking quite different. So I would argue that in Africa and Asia, for every 100 CDC workers, there were many thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of national and local workers who were actually implementing smallpox eradication projects. And we have lost their voices, or we are not chasing down their voices. In either case, I think that's not right. The World Health Assembly played a very important role. For me, as a historian, one of the most amazing things that happened after the Second World War was the birth of the WHO. Here was an institution in which newly decolonized countries had a vote that was equal to the European powers that had colonized them. We see in the World Health Assembly an act after act of democracy where countries were coming together with a single goal to vote in support for projects. We often study that. Often historians and social scientists and sometimes policy managers, when they write their institutional histories, will go and just look at what France, Britain, and America discussed about a certain project, and that then becomes the global history. But the World Health Assembly is an immensely important player in the creation of our global past, democratically so. The World Health Headquarters was not dominated in the first 10 years of its birth by European, ex-colonial European powers. Yes, there were some technical experts from those countries. But if you actually take the time to go through the staff lists of this organization in its first 10 years, what is amazing is the number of African and Asian actors who are playing important role in designing, creating new protocols. But later, sometimes when smallpox eradication happens, their voices, their actions get left out. And I think to write a true global history, they have to be brought in. But as a social historian, there are many vaccinated communities with numerous experiences. There are issues of class, there are issues of caste, there are issues of gender, issues of religion, issues of political affiliation, and these are always a factor in experience, the experience of smallpox eradication. And therefore, for a historian like me, the voices and experiences of all these people is also important. That has to be part of the story. Indeed, in the celebratory history of smallpox eradication, we often forget that the first programs in Western Africa were actually not just about smallpox. They were about smallpox and measles. It was a success in measles vaccination which had created goodwill, political goodwill, that was used often to introduce smallpox eradication pilots in parts of Africa and Asia. So we must remember the role of African actors in decolonizing and decolonized Africa, where we write up the story of global smallpox eradication. And that is something I haven't done, but I'm working with students who are now collecting information, and there is a lot of information. You need languages. Because even if the file has been shredded in WHO headquarters, we have found copies of files in the French National Archives, we found copies of files other funder archives like the German National Archives, the West Germans gave money, again not very well known, the Indian National Archives, and the actors themselves. The gold mine that we have hit is the actors who have often kept copies of drafts of reports. When we look at those drafts of reports and then look at final reports, we can often see how important their input is to the creation of protocols for specific countries and regions within countries. The final official report often does not acknowledge local input. Local correspondence between the WHO regional office and the district health officer, for instance, can reveal how much useful intelligence is actually flowing between these two partners. So we need to recover that part of the history as well. But if you think, and grants are a problem. One of the reasons I've been able to do such detailed work for 10 years is that I've been very successful and very fortunate in getting wealth and trust research grants, which has allowed me to spend 2 weeks sometimes in very difficult archives, but there are no catalogs. You have to go through sacks and sacks of material to get perhaps 2 letters. I've been fortunate with my grant. So an argument can be made that sometimes resources don't allow such detailed research to be done. But even if we are then to look at just a few individuals to write a global history of smallpox eradication, I would argue to you that we need to go beyond the lived experiences of a handful of Western European and American men who would have spent a week or 2 in a month on the ground, but they were not spending all the time on the ground. The day-to-day running of smallpox eradication programs was being run by district and national staff in Africa and Asia. But there are other voices that have sort of been considered less valuable than others because of the historian's presumption that we must challenge that as well. So let me give you an example. Let's start from the middle. The middle is Habdan Mala, WHO Director General at the time of the so-called intensified phase of the smallpox eradication program. Now we know that Dr. Mala was a great supporter of primary health care. No doubt about it. Publicly, he also supported smallpox eradication. The WHO had spies in the Indian government. What do I mean by spies? Even handwritten letters between the Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and her political funders were being photostated. People remember, but some of you young people won't know what a photostat is. It was a machine that was this big. And they photocopied, the technological advance. So handwritten letters between political funders and Indira Gandhi where smallpox is mentioned were actually secretly photostated and sent to WHO headquarters. I managed to find those. When I went to the Indian Health Minister and said, I found these letters, he smiled and said, we knew who was sending those letters, we let those letters go. But we had asked files. Then he gave me a file of what Habdan Mala didn't know was coming to India. So India was keeping an eye on all the private and confidential internal correspondence as well. And one of the most interesting bits that comes out in that correspondence is that he was publicly supportive of smallpox eradication, but privately opposed because he thought it weakened the movement for primary health care. Now, why is this important? I'm not just saying this to stoke up controversy. Often we historians and policy workers think that vertical and horizontal programs either follow each other or are often opposed to each other. Not necessarily the case. If you look at the smallpox eradication program, the so-called vertical program was not always vertical. The smallpox eradication program in India helped identify primary healthcare centers where the doctors had gone missing. That then forced a reform of those primary healthcare centers and then actually led to the strengthening of primary healthcare. It wasn't happening everywhere, but we as historians and policy analysts have to realize that with disease surveillance comes surveillance of other staff. And that surveillance sometimes has useful health system strengthening results. We don't know if similar things happen in Africa. That is what the next generation of historians have to study for us. But you have to remember. So Mahler is an important person, of course. He's a hero. He's a hero to many of us, including myself. But there's another hero. I don't discount every CDC official as being unimportant. I think everyone had an important role in some way to play. But the most important, to my mind, was Donald A. Henderson. You speak to a retired district medical officer in India, everyone remembers John Henderson. Why? Because he would be in the script crops walking the village road with them. There were very few international workers doing the same. So he earned their respect by living in villages, sleeping under the stars, walking the hard walk, dropping with exhaustion, everything else that the district and the national health officer would endure, he or she would endure on a daily basis, but is not reported on in the institutional history. It's very interesting. I did not know Don Henderson. I did not know how to Don Henderson. I didn't know how to approach him, but when I published my first book, he actually got in touch with me and wanted to talk. And when I talked to him, I realized he never said it as clearly as I'm explaining it to you, but the fact that he was an internationalist willing to listen and credit international actors as being important in their global program often lost him friends in US CDC. So what is very striking is that he told me of how many times he'd been sort of isolated from major global polio eradication meetings because he was seen as someone who was not giving due credit to US CDC. So these histories are after that. The fact that they read book, I think the Western African program, I think is chapter 10 or 11, annoys people in Atlanta. For them it should be chapter 1. That is where it all started. The problem was that the big red book was negotiated with nation states, member states. So you could not impose an institutional interpretation on a WHO official history. This is the biggest hero I have in the history of smallpox eradication. The biggest heroine for me in global smallpox eradication in terms of international work. Does anyone know who this is? Nicole Grasset, Swiss-French. She was fearless. She would fly a vaccine into Africa in war zones where no one else dared to do so. She worked on a bipartisan basis, always developing relationships with both sides of the party to make sure smallpox vaccines got there. She was sent to the Delhi office. One of the handwritten letters from her to Indira Gandhi, the Indian Prime Minister, was very honest. It was a 7-page handwritten letter. The first page talked about how much she hated living in India. So the next 6 pages talked about how much she as a woman was committed to Indian smallpox eradication. And she needed Prime Minister Gandhi's help to make this possible. It became a relationship between two strong women that really helped the smallpox eradication program along. But if you pick up any CDC institutional history, you will not find the names. But if you go to the WHO headquarters archives, luckily they have not shredded her letters. Day to day, telegrams, memos, strategic updates from Nicole Grasset. Everyone listened to Nicole Grasset. One Indian official I interviewed, who I gave one name because he wants to remain anonymous, gave me this quote about Nicole Grasset, that they never closed the door in Nicole Grasset's face because they knew that she would kick a hole into the wall and then walk through that hole to negotiate with them. So we must not forget all the actors. I'm not saying internationalism is not important. It is crucial. But there were many women in international circles. There were internationalists from all nationalities. Another example is Isao Arita, whose picture I haven't put here. Isao Arita was actually the chief of the smallpox eradication unit when smallpox was certified eradicated. But no one seems to remember. Everyone remembers Donald A. Henderson, but not Isao Arita. So there are some subjectivities and biases we as historians need to be aware of. And English language writing in medical history has a strong hold. So often Anglophone actors get privileged over other actors, like Francophone actors, like Rosset. So as good historians, we have to be aware of those biases, fight those biases, and work around those biases, and set up new standards of history writing that are democratic and inclusive. Finally, Indira Gandhi, standing next to Nixon, who catered, again, confidential correspondence that is now being classified. But Indira Gandhi was funded by Tata. Her political machinery, her greatest political funder was J.R.D. Tata, a big private enterprise. It was Nicole Brasset who had the sense to go and speak to J.R.D. Tata and convince him of smallpox eradication. The letter that the Indian official who secretly copied the handwritten correspondence between Tata and Indira Gandhi and sent it to Geneva basically tells Indira Gandhi, fund the global smallpox eradication program, or we will rethink our funding for your political machinery. The next day, Indira Gandhi went on All India Radio and declared the unrestrained support. Translation to speak of the Hindi, the unrestrained support and importance of the global smallpox eradication program. So what am I trying to say here? Countries are important. National politics are important in internationalism. Do not discount the study of them. Because if we are to prepare for complex global health futures, we need to understand the specificities that exist in countries, and respectfully so that we can act on them. If we pretend that the local specificities are not important, we will continue having problems because people will resist, people will hesitate, people will refuse to collaborate or cooperate if collaboration is too strong for work. So, for me, personally, I've uncovered many hundreds of voices, but the work is not finished because there are many more million histories in South Asia to be mined. It was the world's largest reservoir of smallpox. It had a long history of vaccination. The Indian official history of smallpox eradication highlighted the fact that British India had an established vaccination system before WHO started its smallpox elimination program or suggested smallpox elimination program. That history was clever enough not to say colonialism was a good thing. That official narrative said we had vaccination, so we knew what vaccination was about, but colonial vaccination structures were weak. But after India became independent in 1947, we fixed those problems. And therefore India was vaccinating against smallpox from 1947 onwards. So please don't tell us that our smallpox eradication program started when CDC came to our country in 1965. Or the negotiators came to the country in 1965. In India, at that time, had 20 states. So as a very important point out, that district health structures are very important, provincial health structures are very important. In India, in a federal structure, each of the 20 states had its own health budget and its own health policy. So international health policy actually had to negotiate and work through 20 sets of legal frameworks before they could do global smallpox eradication. But this does not appear in the official narrative. The narrative is someone in Geneva went to talk to someone in Delhi and it happened. No, it didn't happen that way. So we need to be accurate for future programs about how it happened. There were many lessons in many languages. And what I call in my classes is lost in translation was happening at many levels. Local workers often have great power. Why? Because they can speak English and they can speak local language. I speak 2 languages from India well and one not so well. And I try to read the day-to-day reporting from district officials in those languages. I then chase down the English translation of those reports written by themselves, which was sent to Geneva. It was half the size of the original report. They decided what was going to be reported to Geneva, and Geneva accepted. So never presume that the local district level official does not have power. Language is power. The lack of language, which is what I keep telling funders involved in international projects, the fact that you don't know local languages is not the health officers, the national health officers' problem. It's your problem. You have to work in multiple languages in order to better understand the context in which you're working. And if you can't do that, work with people who can help. But remain aware that if you remain completely reliant on their translation services, you will get a certain view of what's happening in the field. I don't think the message has got through, but so how can one recover the many silenced histories? I argue that for a comprehensive global roadmap for vaccination-based public health, many histories of smallpox eradication need recovery. Why? Because there are massive successes in WHO regional offices that remain unreported. I give you an example. The annual Hajj pilgrimage, which drew people from Europe, from the Bosnia-Herzegovina area, which drew people from throughout the West Asian region, from Africa, from South Asia, and yet there were very few outbreaks. They didn't get reported. Those successes, what structures have been put into place to create smallpox surveillance and control have not been reported on. But what gets reported? The fact that 2 Bosnian men came back with smallpox and had smallpox in Europe. Again, priorities. So this is just an example. There are many forms of internationalism. Often, when I put global funders under pressure, which I can, because I will retire soon, I hope. Nothing to gain from them. But when I put global funders under pressure and ask them, what do you mean by internationalism? Often, the answer is that it means the involvement of Europe or the North American continent in international and national projects. But often in Asia and Africa, I suppose a non-aligned movement, there were other forms of internationalism. African nations collaborated, cooperated with each other. What you pointed out, in conflict zones, cooperation across conflict zones. In India, even during the India-Pakistan war, there was a ceasefire so that smallpox vaccination